Hey guys, Dr. Morse, Injury Experts. We are ramping up for NFL season. It is the first week of June. We have several injuries already to talk about as we transition from off-season to full-time preseason. Saquon just got announced that he's on the cover of Madden. Is there any Madden curse? We can look into that. I will have a little article up on theinjuryexperts.com for you for that. Let's talk about a couple injuries. I did a video on him last week. I'll provide a little bit of an update. Malik Nabers dealing with a toe injury. He was not practicing. This is likely a mild turf toe. They're going to be smart. It sounds like they don't. This is a mild version, so probably a grade 1, not concerning enough to potentially have surgery on or shut him down significantly, but they need to be smart. These can be annoying. This is basically injuring kind of the big toe version of your thumb. I would not change any ADPs or anything at this time. Still a full go in Dynasty, still a full go in redraft, still a top 5 wide receiver in the NFL. If this gets worse, then we have to take that into consideration. Kyle Pitts, they updated today. He is dealing with a strained muscle in his foot. This is not a common injury. I'm trying to think of specifically what they're talking about. This could be a peroneus muscle. This could be any of the anterior or any of the tibialis muscles. It could be a small little lumbrical. It's hard to tell. I'd probably give him a week or two to see how he does. If he's still not doing better, maybe put a little PRP or stem cells in there, but not overly worried. There's been rumblings that he may be traded. He has struggled really to separate, so obviously this is not going to make it any better. He's on my do not draft list, regardless of where he ends up this year, regardless of the talent level. So this is just something to keep an eye on. Savion Williams, the Packers rookie, is dealing with an unknown injury. I haven't seen any updates from him. Matthew Golden has looked really good, made some good adjustments on a ball earlier today. Xavier Legette likely had either a Jones fracture or a mild Liz Frank earlier in the offseason, had surgery, had a screw placed in his foot, and is now 100%. He was practicing last week at OTAs with no issues, no concerns going forward regarding that injury. Jaylen Coker, a little bit of a different story. He had a much better season comparatively, despite being an undrafted free agent. Dealt with a quad injury in December, I believe it was. Now he has a new soft tissue injury. Wouldn't be surprised if it was the same quad or maybe the opposite quad. Also could see hamstring, could see calf or groin. Those are most common soft tissue injuries. Definitely something to monitor. Kind of a stinky player. He could be key along with Ted McMillan for Bryce Young's breakout. But we'll have to see how annoying this injury is for Coker. Jaden Reed did not have surgery on his dislocated shoulder, which is a little bit concerning because he had a partial tear in his labrum. Usually these do not do well without either stem cells or surgery, so hopefully he had stem cells. If he didn't have surgery, if he lands on this shoulder again, it will start to pop out again and he will be unstable. So he's been a do not draft for me. Despite the talent, I would avoid him again, secondary to this recurrent shoulder issue that is feeling good now, but wait until he lands on it a couple times, so we'll have to see how that plays out. MarShawn Lloyd, another Packer with an injury history. He has been working with the rehab group. He's had multiple hamstring injuries in the past. He had an awful rookie season as a result. He was working with the same thing that Christian Watson had worked with last year for his hamstring. Sounds like he's doing better, but obviously not out of the woods yet because he's still with the rehab group. I do like his talent. I think he can potentially spell and create a little bit of a cool duo with Josh Jacobs, but at the same time, he needs to stay healthy. For Josh Downs, he had fantastic numbers last year. If you look at any of the deep metrics, he was top 5 to top 10 in most of them. Separation score, percentages, slot value, a lot of different things, but he's dealing with a new soft tissue injury. If we have significant issues, if Anthony Richardson gets that job, if we see Daniel Jones get that job, Josh Downs becomes a very sneaky option because Daniel Jones is really good at horizontal passing, and Anthony Richardson really struggles at that, and that's one of Josh Downs' fortes. He would be the primary receiver in that offense, in my opinion. Ricky Pearsall, now a new injury. Obviously, remember last year he had that gunshot that kind of derailed his rookie season, had a decent end of the season. Now he's dealing with a hamstring strain, probably going to be held out for the next month or so to make sure this is properly healed before he ramps up into obviously late July, early August, to make sure that that's fully healed. CJ Stroud has been dealing with a tightness in his throwing shoulder, probably his pec, if I were to guess. Some rumblings it is pec, some rumblings it's just generalized shoulder fatigue. They said they're not overly worried about it. He was dealing with this last year, if I remember correctly, and he didn't have a big deal. I think they're going to be smart with him. This is not super important time right now, although he could use the practice reps with his new rookie wide receivers. I'm not overly worried about this. I think he'll be fine in the next month or so when it really counts. So no issues with CJ Stroud, although he is not practicing right now. Joe Mixon, on the other hand, was spotted in a walking boot. He did have minor offseason surgery. We don't have any details. He kind of fell off and had an injury. I believe it was a high ankle sprain at the end of the year. They didn't really do a whole lot to complement him this year in the backfield, so he could get another run this year, and he's been really reliable the past several years, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. And then finally, Christian McCaffrey is actually looking really good. We'll do a deeper dive into him for the Injury Expertz draft guide, which you can sign up for and pre-order. It should be out or starting in early July. Christian McCaffrey, obviously coming back off that bilateral Achilles injury as well as that PCL sprain. Realistically, he is going to he looks fantastic. I think he may be potentially worth the risk this year, but we'll have to reevaluate and kind of do a deeper dive to say, hey, is he worth the risk? And then I just put a new article, reposted a new article regarding Saquon that's for free that you can look at on the injuryexperts.com, kind of doing a deep dive to see, hey, is he someone worth potentially targeting either in Dynasty or in redraft or even in best ball based on his price and how much volume he had last year, and now he has the quote-unquote Madden curse. So check that out. I will try to do this as more injuries start to come out, and we'll start wrapping up content over the next 6 to 8 weeks. Thank you for tuning in. Happy that NFL season is back.